Hi Taurus, this is your general tarot reading for Taurus Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of April. So let me think, what's special about the month of April? What's special about the month of April? It's some of your birthdays. So Taurus, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Taurus, who's born in April. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, April-born Taurus. I hope it's a fantastic month for you. I kind of think it will be, you know. We have lots of energies going on here that we're going to talk about while we're waiting on the right cards to come out just for you, Taurus. Okay, the right card's coming out. The first card is the Magician. Let's hope the Magician waves his magic wand and gives Taurus everything that you want for the beginning of your birthday season. The Eight of Cups, lay that down there. Look at this tricky devil. This tricky devil appearing in your birthday month. How dare he? But I think I know what's going on there. So we'll lay that down and we'll talk about it. It's not bad. Don't fear this energy. Don't ever fear it, because as they say, once you fear your fears, they gain ascendancy over you. You can't have that. So we know that you leave March and you enter April, you know, with a big focus on your health, on your day-to-day routines, on your organizing your life in general, organizing your emotions too in some way, and trying to put clarity in some things that may have seemed confusing for a long period of time, and trying to nail it, really, trying to nail the thing that's bothering you, that's getting in your way, you know, and you've been doing that, you've been working on it with work, you know, your day-to-day tasks have probably taken a little bit of a shift. Maybe you've seen new people come into your office or something new or different has happened. So we know we're leaving that. But as we enter April, the Sun, Uranus and Mercury retrograding, as these two cards come out, the Queen of Swords, the Hermit. We know that there's that energy in the 12th house, as this card comes out, the Knight of Wands. And it's a lot of energy to do with remembering what has been lost. Now, we spoke about this last month, Taurus. Things that have been lost, people that have been lost. We know that that was the energy of March, and now into a little bit of April, it will still be the same. And I hope for your birthday, part of the Magician coming in and waving his magic wand was to open that out and have happier memories about something or somebody which has been lost to you. And that's quite nice. There's great healing in the 12th house, you know. It's a very deep and psychological house. And it's a house where you are required to stay a little bit quiet in order to allow those things come to mind. So I think it was quite a beautiful time for you from March and going in a little bit to April, where the memories get the attention that they truly deserved. So that's nice, very, very nice. And you know, I did read a lot of the comments from last month about the issues that we spoke about. A lot of you sent me messages and so on about some of the deep losses that you've experienced over the last, say, 3 years. And I know how hard it's been for you. And so what April is doing here now too, it's adding something wonderful to this. And that is that, I'll just stop shuffling for a moment to explain this. Chiron, the wounded healer, the one who carries a wound, is moving out of Pisces. He's been there for a few years, and he's now moving in April into Aries. So what that can mean for you is that a great personal healing will come, a great sense that the deeper hurts that you've experienced are now up to be seen, to be looked at, and to be ultimately healed. And you know, this is the beginning in April, so again, it's a nice birthday present. And it can take some time. You know, these things don't just happen overnight. I mean, you don't even imagine that they will. Let's face it. It's going to be there for around 8 years. So you've this wonderful long period of healing. I mean, you're very lucky in that way because it's affecting other signs in different ways. But to have this wonderful healer going in to fix all those very, very, very deep hurts, that's quite a blessing, I have to say, Taurus. It's quite a beautiful thing to be happening for you. So what else is going on, Taurus? There is the Jupiter retrograde still happening in your 7th house, in relationships, not just marriage relationships or relationships in general. It's maybe with business relationships, anybody that you have a contract with. There is this energy of you going in deeply and trying to eliminate any obstacles that stops something from flowing better, you know, within your relationship. So that's not a bad energy either. We have 2 cards just coming out there. We have the 7 of Swords and we have the Moon, the Moon. So let's talk about the Moon. Where is the Moon this month? Moon, where is the Moon this month in April for the Taurus birthday babies? It's at the very end of the month, the 29th. There is a full moon in your house of relationships. So you see Jupiter, the great expander, is going to be in there too, and he is in there with the moon. So your relationships are going to, again, have some real clarity, some real deep insights. And because it's a full moon at the end of the month, it's something you've been waiting to close, to finish. Any badness that has been in any relationship, of any important relationship in your life, any negativity or bad feeling that's been in there is now going to come to an end at the end of the month. You see how this month, it's very subtle, but it's a wonderful gift. It's a wonderful energy for you this month, Taurus. Because every one of us, I mean, every sign is experiencing some hardship in April. We can't escape that because Saturn and Pluto are going to be on retrograde. And they're in there with Mars, but in your 9th house. And the 9th house is your higher wisdom, your higher knowledge. Perhaps for you it could mean the studying, going to university. Perhaps it's religious studies or esoteric studies. It could also be just traveling to foreign places and far off lands. And why is this now an issue as Saturn and Pluto go retrograde? Because they're forcing you to take better command of this situation, even more so than before. Saturn, as people often say, Saturn, when it goes retrograde, gives you the power to say to people who are trying to push stuff upon you. So if you feel that maybe somebody from a different culture, somebody from a different country, people that you deal with that might not be from your nation, there's something in there where Saturn will make you go, no, I'm not doing X, Y, or Z anymore in this thing. Maybe it's about traveling long distance. Maybe you just say, I just don't want to do this anymore. If somebody is trying to pressure you into going into a long haul flight to go to some far off place, you know, Saturn is, if you don't want to do it, Saturn will give you that real push to say, no. And that's what he's doing. And in terms of your studies too, if you're studying something in a higher education, or if you're expanding your knowledge in some way, there might be something in what you're learning that you absolutely disagree with. You just don't like it, and you're going to have the confidence to speak to your tutor, speak to whoever's educating you, or whoever the wiser person is who's showing you something. You'll be able to say, I just do not agree with you. I don't agree with what's on the curriculum. I don't agree with the knowledge you're giving me. If it's some teacher-student thing, maybe if it's a sport. And your coach, for example, is telling you to train a certain way, there'll be a moment where you just have to say, no, this is not how I want to do it, you know? So it's giving you the power to say no. And also Pluto going retrograde is giving you the power of transformation. What else? I'm just looking down at the chart here. Yeah, just that a moment of looking even deeper and deeper into all things that we've spoken about, foreign cultures, higher wisdom, expanding your perspective. Perhaps somebody is challenging something that you strongly believe in, and you have to examine first, am I right when I defend my beliefs? And if the answer is yes, really and truly yes, not just digging your heels in or digging your hoofs in, if the answer is yes, I really do believe in what I believe in, then there's that energy of standing up for that too, you know. So just be careful though. Sometimes the Pluto in there can make us fanatical about the things that we believe in. So April might give you a little bit of a reality check. Perhaps there's some very, very long-held belief. You know, you might subscribe to an ideology, and it's probably time to have a real look at whether that ideology fits in your life and in the world in general anymore. So that's that. Now, April, there's a new moon again in your 12th house, giving you more opportunity to heal. See, it's all that gentle energy of healing and so on like that. Mercury goes direct again there mid-month. The sun enters your first house. Now, we talk about that because it's your birthday. The sun entering your first house, people are just going to be mesmerized by you, Taurus. You're going to be shining. You're going to be glowing. It's going to be like the world suddenly revolves around you. And what a good world it would be to revolve around the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful signs in the zodiac, ruled by Venus. I mean, if the world revolves around you, I think I'll get my chair and take a ringside seat, a bull ringside seat. Yeah, I think I'd do that. I mean, how could you not admire that? And as two cards come out, we have the 8 of Swords. We have the 9 of Wands. We're waiting on 2 more cards for us. We're almost finished with the energies. So yeah, you're going to be looking good and feeling great. And it's a period this month in April where you'll be celebrated, obviously, because it's your birthday. But even without the birthday celebrations, you'll be in demand. People they'll just want you to be center stage. And so make a real effort this month to look good. If there's things that you've been putting off doing, like fixing up your look or wearing the really nice clothes that you just leave sitting there in the wardrobe and never actually wear, bring them out this month, because it's a good opportunity to be seen and for people to admire anything that you have in your appearance, and then what else? Venus moves into your 2nd house then around April 25th. Making money and all finances, all your possessions, anything that you value. Now, what are the things that we value? Very often we say money. Sure, we value money, but we value our home. We value the people in our home. We value our friends. We might value something that belonged to the person that we have lost, that we spoke about. So towards the end of the month, there'll be that gorgeous feeling. You see, Taurus, you're very tactile. You are a toucher, feeler, sensual in that way. And I do not know why, but this image of you having something that belongs to somebody that you once really treasured, somebody who's passed on, maybe a grandparent, a parent, or whoever it is that really you value deeply in your heart. I just get the sense that there's something tangible, maybe even if it's just a sweater or something that belonged to them. There'll be something about that will give you great comfort, if it's something that you can wear, even if it's an item of jewelry that was handed down to you or given to you in some way, will you wear it? Because, or carry it with you, because there's something very beautiful in that. Venus also in your second house could find that you, for those of you who are looking for love, that you might meet somebody through something of value. You might be going to a luxury show, like a luxury car show, or a luxury clothes show, or some fashion thing, or somewhere where there's real high quality something. And if you go there, you could end up meeting somebody that you might just fall head over heels in love with. And that's really sweet. It's just this beautiful love energy. I always adore Taurus when you are in that zone, when you are in your full love zone, and particularly compassionate zone. Very few people are as compassionate as you when you really enter in that energy. And I you know, as I'm reading the energies for you for April, I feel it, and there's this lovely feeling of, you know, taking your time, going slow, enjoying the good things in life, feeling that when you look around, that it's just full of love. And when you are in that zone, which is April for you, like I said, I would like to take a ringside seat because I want to be around that energy. It's so glowy and gorgeous. Just like you, Taurus. Glowy and gorgeous. Waiting on 2 cards. If they don't come soon, I'm just going to choose them. I think I will. I'll just choose them here. Because what are we now? We're over 15 minutes talking about energies. Ugh. Yeah, you see what you're doing to me, Taurus? When I'm feeling your beautiful energy, I'm just... So, come on, snap out of it. Let's read the cards. Temperance. And then one last card. I'll choose this for you, Taurus. And it is the 7 of Wands. Okay, Taurus, let me organize these cards. So there's this beautiful energy, and it's easy to see why you're going to be so attractive, or more attractive than usual, Taurus. I can see now why. Okay. Let's go, Taurus. Let's look. Come. Okay, so can you see? I'm having terrible problems with my camera at the moment because of the Mercury retrograde. Everything is a bit weird, but if you can forgive that, let's move on. So we open with the Magician. Now this is Mercury. We're talking about Mercury retrograding and going direct in the month of April. And for those things that were slowed down in your life, anything like travel or communication with siblings or friends or people in work, if that was going a bit wonky, even if your technology was just going much slower than usual, it's going to change mid-month. It's going to get an awful lot better. So Mercury is pointing, indicating, because here he is like a big indicator here, pointing that things will change in your life. But in general, the things we spoke about, the deep psychological healing, the beautiful gifts that have been handed to you, Taurus, for the month of April, this is the messenger of the gods. He is the one that stands between what's up here, God, universe, cosmos, celestial, whatever it is you choose to call it, and the earth, you see, above and below. And he's the middleman. He's saying the energies above and below are as above, so below. And he is saying that great balancing is coming. The healing that you're going to be feeling and all the very, very beautiful energies that are coming for you in April, Taurus, are, brought in by Mercury, who is sitting in this house of healing deep psychological issues. So it's almost like saying the healing you're receiving is a divine act. So enjoy that. Now, as we enter April, you might find too, Taurus, that you're going to experience some new ways to move in your life, new opportunities, new doors will open. Anything that was a bit stagnant, if things just weren't moving in some part of your life, the new opportunity will arise. If you've been waiting on work news, or if you've been trying to sell something, or anything like that in trade, business, or movement, it's just suddenly going to start running smoothly again. And he's just indicating that. Now, beside this here, he's pointing at this very deep card. 8 is deep psychological healing. And it's also, believe it or not, 8s in tarot are represented by Mercury. And he is telling you again that the period of sadness that you have experienced anywhere in your life where you've been holding on to deep hurts, this is the moment where he, Mercury, in a Mercury card, is telling you that it's time to move on. It's time now to allow that to be released. Now, look at this man. He certainly has a bit of a journey to go. Look, there's mountains ahead and things to climb. But he is after making a decision to move on. And if you see here, he's supported. He's not on his hands and knees. He is supported. And that's the energy you're going to feel, Taurus. Whatever it is, excuse me, whatever it is that you are moving away from and getting healing from, and perhaps in real life you are moving away from certain situations, it's an act of, it was meant to be this way. It's an act of healing and cleansing, and you are supported on this journey. And you know, as he moves on, he gets stronger. You see, in his first steps, he needs that bit of support, which you may also need too, Taurus. But as he gets stronger, as he gets more accustomed to the new landscape, he no longer needs such heavy support. He can again, finally, at the end of this journey, stand on his own 2 feet. Okay? So that's a lovely energy that's coming in for you, Taurus, for the month of April, beginning that lovely journey of being free from emotional upsets and from things that may have been in the shadows for you too long. Now, speaking of things that may have been in the shadows for too long, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Now, because he represents Saturn, and Saturn is going retrograde in your 9th house, you recall that we spoke about your beliefs. And one of the meanings of this card is to just pay attention that some of your beliefs aren't a bit overbearing, overpowering. I think perhaps some of your beliefs might need to be reviewed. And nobody believes a bad thing. Everything we believe in our lives, any ideology we stand by, we usually do it because we believe there's a great sense of love and justice and care involved in it. But sometimes when these ideologies go past their sell-by date, when the world moves on, or perhaps even if you move on, that they no longer apply. And what he's indicating here is that energy of you going back to see if the ideologies you believe in still apply, or are they now becoming something that was once helpful but is now a hindrance to you and perhaps even to others. So it's just something to be aware of. Now, I will say this for some of you Taurians, April will be a very, very good month for you to finally release the shackles of somebody who is overbearing in your life. There could be a person or a situation in your life who's demanding control over you in some way. For some people, you might feel that it's a financial thing, that money or somebody or something has far too much control over your life. And this has to be addressed, absolutely has to be addressed. The healing that's coming might give you the strength and the support, because it's a divine healing. I think that you will be given the strength and support to finally face somebody or some situation that is just, they've just got far too influence over you. For some Taurus, again, just for some, you could have somebody in your life who is far too domineering, that they are playing psychological tricks on you also, that they are manipulating you in quite a dangerous way, in some cases even showing violence. If that is the case in your life, Taurus, then you have got to take this seriously. And I think April is going to be one of the real first moments where you gain real clarity over this situation. You know, if, for example, if it's a lover, you could say, oh yeah, well, they might treat me bad, but I'm obsessed with them. I love them so much. It's a soulmate connection. Well, sometimes soulmates connections and people who manipulate, sometimes they can look very similar, you know, and I just want you to use the energy in April to know the difference between what a real soulmate is and what a real soul connection is with somebody and what a manipulator looks like, okay? And this is my beautiful card of the Guardian. Again, we begin the month with you being very, very protected. She protects you from this. So again, if you must face a demon in your life, you know, it could be a psychological demon, something that, a habit or an addiction or some belief system that you just can't kick. And now the energies of being protected are coming in while you deal with that, you know. Also, I will say this, that is, for some of you, you could be protecting somebody or some ideology or some people who really don't deserve your protection at this time. You might want to have a look at that. Who wants to defend the devil, really? So that's worth having a look at. This is an Aquarius card also, and she's very, very strong. This woman, I mean, she stands for no bullshit. She is just having none of it when somebody comes and tries to attack. She has the sword up, she has the hand looking, and she's saying, you can come close, you know, I'm inviting you, come on, come a little bit closer, come, get too close, and I will cut you down. So she is the queen of hard words and harsh words. So this is quite an unusual situation. You'll know what this means. For some of you, the devil could be coming from an Aquarius. It could be somebody who's an Aquarius that is acting as a shadow in your life in some way. And it could be a physical person, or it could actually be an Aquarius who you've experienced years and years and years and years ago. And the effect of them hasn't quite left you. And it confuses you that you don't know why you can only remember the negative things about them and you can't remember the good things about them. So that's just, again, something to look at in the month of April. Here's the card of deep introspection. You're going deeper. We know that 12th house issues. This card always comes up for me when I'm talking about the 12th house, even though that's not the traditional meaning of this card. It's about going deeper and finding your inner wisdom, your truth, your light, and being prepared to go alone into something. If you feel, excuse me, if you feel unsupported in something, Taurus, this is a great opportunity for you to say, well, to hell with all of you. I am going to look at this really closely, whatever the situation is, and I'm going to cast my light upon it and see if it bears any truth. You know, we spoke about ideologies. You're going to be holding them up for inspection, and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to ignore what other people are telling me about whether this is right or wrong. I'm going to go in on my own and see how I feel about it. And that's across the board in everything in your life for the month of April, Taurus. You're going in deeper than usual to see if the people and situations in your life really do have your best interests at heart, and to see whether you can understand the situations and people a bit better, and whether you want to proceed with something to do with them. Now, beside that, your deep introspection is sitting beside a card which is very, very, very fiery, fire upon fire upon fire, about somebody who's charging ahead and running ahead with somebody. So we have a bit of a contrast here. Here's somebody who's going slow, taking a time out, being quiet, and beside it we have somebody running and charging and battling ahead with something. So if it is a case where you're trying to slow down and somebody is trying to hurry you up, then really you take your time. You get to decide what pace something unfolds at. You get to decide, you know, what speed a relationship goes at, what speed anything in your life goes at, because you don't want to be a fool and rush in and neglect some of the deeper truths that could be exposed in this relationship or situation. However, this could also mean that you have this wonderful new fire in you, a fiery energy in you to look deeper into these things. And fire is transformation. Fire very often is the element that represents the end result of a situation. So lots of moving ahead, charging ahead, and feeling that something is being solidified, something is being made permanent. And perhaps, excuse me, sorry for coughing. Really, I'm sorry for coughing through your video. But again, it could be a question of something being solidified and you needing to take a little bit of time out to see, if I'm going to commit to something, if I'm going to give everything to something, I need to first know that what I'm getting into is worth it. Because once Taurus makes the decision to enter into an agreement or enter into a relationship, you don't do it lightheartedly. You go in kind of having a feeling that it's for the long run, not something that's just a bit hit and run. You know, you want something to be enduring, but there is something in there. There is something that's being presented to you that you're intrigued by, that you do want to run with, just as long as you have all the truths about the situation. Now, this is the card of plans and schemes. In some ways, and it's beside the moon, in some ways, Taurus, there's an element of you trying. The full moon at the end of the month is in the 7th house of relationships. Here's a 7 card, again to do with relationships. It's a Venus card. And your gut feeling, something deep in your solar plexus, in your gut feeling, is telling you that you might have to make a little plan or a little strategy about some situation that's keeping you up at night, that's giving you sleepless nights, a bit of stress, a bit of worry. You're trying to be practical, you're trying to think logically, yet the moon energy keeps coming in and saying, stop thinking with your head, follow your gut, follow your gut. And when this energy comes in, it's forcing you to re-strategize, to go back to the drawing board, to make new plans on how to approach your relationships in general. For some of you, you could have become quite distant from your lover. I mean, you could be living together, you could be in a relationship, or you could be in a very strong bond with somebody, and yet there was no great depth of feeling for some period of time. Or for those of you who are single, you felt that there was no great depth of feeling in any of your relationships. And the moon is kind of saying, have a look at this, baby. You may need to take your logic and, pick it up and walk away, because logic in this moment isn't fixing a situation, or the logic that you're trying to use isn't fixing a situation. Incorporate your gut feeling with the plans you're about to make in April, and then you'll do a whole lot better. I'm going to move the camera up here, Taurus, so we can have a look at these cards. Now, here's a card of you being trapped, feeling that the mind, you see, if you don't listen to what I was saying there about not always trying to use your mind, but paying attention to your gut instinct, if you don't do that, you could end up like this, which is being imprisoned by your own thoughts and your own beliefs. And again, the energy is very strong about reshaping your beliefs, looking again at your perspective on things, because as I said, what once served you, the beliefs that once served you, are now possibly the very thing that are keeping you trapped, stopping you from moving on, being stuck in a rut and not being able to come out of it, and you don't want that energy, Taurus. Not with all the beautiful energy that's happening for you in April. You can't have those wonderful people looking at you because you're shining and you're gorgeous, yet at the same time, when they ask your opinion on something, you end up saying something that's quite negative or stuck, and they'll go, I wasn't expecting that. I thought the Venus beauty and the Venus heart and the Venus aura that Taurus was giving off was going to say something more beautiful, and instead they say something that's unexpectedly negative. And this is what you need to balance, Again, if you are trapped, if you are being trapped physically by somebody and their unkind words and people who are trying to be too clever with their words and they always seem to be one step ahead, or they always seem to be able to go psychologically into you and tell you, here's what's wrong with you. If you're dealing with those types of people, you are really, in April, Taurus, going to have to get away from that energy and completely rebalance it. Do not ever let anybody or their opinions or thoughts have any hold over you, Taurus. It's not worth it. Beside it is the card of feeling that sometimes the things in your lives quite heavy. So we're coming to the end of the month, and so there will be some heavy themes, but we'll get through this because it does get better, because you're going to be fixing it. This feeling that you've created a world around you that no longer serves you, that what once protected you now holds you in. Sometimes it's like with this two cards together, it's like a feeling of being agoraphobic, not wanting to step outside, wanting to stay in, not wanting to see anything new, not wanting your opinions to be challenged, not wanting anything in your life to progress. And look at this, what happens when, in this case, is that you feel hemmed in. The world will move on, people will move on. You don't want to get stuck. Now, Taurus, sometimes there's this feeling with you that, you know, if I stand my ground long enough, people will eventually turn around and see my point of view. Yeah, sometimes that works. But it seems in April, that's not what's going to work. You need some sort of radical shift in something, a belief that's confining you. And I know, I'll go back and say, some of those negative thoughts can be also hurts from the past. And it's one thing to grieve and another thing to get stuck in that grief, even though I understand why it can happen. So I do understand. But the energies of April now are asking you to be healed. Temperance, the healer, the one who comes, the goddess of the sky and the sea. And she's saying, look to the sky. There's much more out there. There's more logic, more clarity, more things, new air to take in. Take in fresh air in all aspects of your life, even in your physical body. Get outside and take in some air. The sea, balance your emotions, you know, balance. And let there be more fluidity between what you think and what you feel. Because what you feel might be one thing and what you think might be another thing. And here comes the balance. You have two cards here, two divine cards, major arcana, which are calling upon some balance, something from above coming down below. And it's really time to heal whatever the imbalances are in your life. And this card offers that to you, Taurus. And it doesn't come without a struggle. It's interesting that this card comes out because here we see a guy who's constantly defending himself. He's defending his opinions, his reason to exist. He's defending his moves, his strategies, his everything in his life. And he feels under attack by other people. I hope you don't feel you're under attack when I'm telling you this. That's definitely not what I'm trying to do, Taurus. But he feels like there's so many people trying to pull him down off his perch, trying to drag him off his moral high ground. And again, with Taurus, sometimes when people try to pull you down, your first instinct is to bury your hoofs in deeper and say, no, and become all, you know, gladiator here, you know, with the baton saying, no, stay away, this is my truth, this is my house, I own this, I live here, this is mine. And the energies will change, the healing will come where you'll no longer feel that you have to be always defending the higher ground in some way, that you can relax a little bit more. I'm going to do something I don't usually do. I want to pull one more card as a clarification. Yeah, the other card I pulled there, the Page of Cups. Once you realize that you don't have to always defend the universe or defend your way of being, that I stay at home because I am sad. I don't look for new opportunities because I am staying loyal to a business or to a company. Anytime you're justifying not opening up and seeing new possibilities in your life, when you finally do open up and heal that, you get the first stirrings, the first beginnings of this gorgeous, gorgeous healing. He's an immature Page of Cups, immaturity, not because he's an idiot and he's childish in that way, but think of it more like fruit on a tree. Rather than being immature, see it as being unripe, something that is just ready to blossom. Great card representing healing too. Under the Pisces new moon, you see there's a fish in there. Under the Pisces new moon that happened in March, there is that great sense of healing coming for you too. Taurus, this has been a long video. I didn't expect to do that. I'm really going to have to pay attention to my video times, but I think it was worth it because it's such a gorgeous month of healing. Yeah, you have to challenge a couple of things, but you're going to be radiant and beautiful and gorgeous for this month. People say it's on the inside that matters, not what's on the outside. But for your birthday month, Taurus, it's going to be both. Both inside and outside are going to be just glowing, glowing, glowing. And I love it. And I am going to get my ringside seat just to sit around and just admire that gorgeous Taurian energy for your birthday. Taurus, I really do wish you a very happy birthday. And if this is the first time seeing my videos, then please subscribe. You can like and share. I have a Facebook page, She Bear Tarot. I add little extra bits. You can come to that. Instagram, Twitter too. But in the meantime, Taurus, I'm going to leave you with a very big birthday kiss. Mwah! And send you all my love, and I hope you get spoiled rotten for your birthday. I love you so much, Taurus. See you next time. Bye.